And here it is, the #1 Avanti Dash, all restored and ready to go back in the car here pretty quick. You can see the gauges just look like new again. They were all recalibrated and sent out to get those done. Everything else we were able to do right here. And one of the things with these old cars, the vinyl on these dashes tends to shrink and start cracking. This probably had about a half a dozen different cracks in the vinyl. I was able to take a hot glue gun and fill those cracks and then use a vinyl dye on it, so it's hardly noticeable and it prevents those cracks from just continuing to grow. They get bigger and bigger. The other thing that we did was the bezel. That's the big aluminum piece that goes behind these gauges. We had a lot of little dings, a lot of scratches. You know, they get a lot of them around the ignition switch, particularly. And by taking that aluminum piece out, I was able to hand polish the aluminum edging, that little bead that goes around it, get it cleaned up and polished. And then by taping off that, I was able to hand sand the rest of the facing of that aluminum and repaint it, and then peel off the tape for the aluminum to show on the edging. So it looks like brand new again. There's no dents, dings, scratches, bad paint. The radio had quite a few of them because of the knobs and everything, and you can see it looks good too. Being done, it's good to go. The vinyl itself looks great. Another project was just getting the speaker grill on a nice shiny new clean dash. Was rust inside the little holes and everything. So if you saw the video on that and how we removed the rust and painted that, protected it, worked out great. Another project on this was the vanity itself, which had a lot of rust on the tray and got sanded down, and the liner was shot over the years. It tends to shrink in the glove box. I don't know if we'll be able to see it, and the liner's all done. It tends to shrink, and a perfect habitat for mice and everything else you could find inside of these glove boxes. But that worked out good. Got a new felt in there, got things functioning really well. So the dash now all is good and functional. This is kind of a little model one of what the car looked like with the old green metallic, and just as an example, it's a reminder to see what we started with. Oops, we'll see here with the vanity closes by lubricating it, lining up the door. You can see it just snaps shut in alignment. Works great. So the dash is basically set now to go. We'll be hooking up the wiring harness behind it before we drop it in and feed the line out to the engine compartment, where we reversal of what we did taking it out. Everything's ready to go. The gauges have been tested by the company that recalibrated them and rebuilt them, so those should be good as well. You can see the bracing's been repainted, new gauges, and everything's good. If you look real close, some of the cracks in the back are getting bad. You might see I didn't spend a whole lot of time on my hot glue gun, but there were some big cracks back where I just didn't want to see them growing and continue. The rest of the vinyl just turned out great, so we're happy with it, and I'm looking forward to installing it all.